All right, Travis, we spoke before about you being a Navy veteran and your love for serving our country and serving others and serving veterans. But you mentioned to me just recently that there's another demographic of buyers, of people who you love to serve. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So, basically everybody but first responders and law enforcement, very passionate about them. So veterans, we sign a contract to go out for a limited time to put our lives on the line and to preserve our country. And then there's some of us that come back and they want to continue their service. So they'll sign up for the local law enforcement and first responders and continue their service voluntarily still in the city that which they live in for the rest of their lives. And with real estate that I'm in, I can continue to serve for the rest of my life. It's just a passion that I feel veterans have, is just to serve. It's a habit.
Yeah. And I would say not all first responders are veterans.
Not all, yes.
But there are still grants and so on, things available to them for first time buying a home in Utah.
For all veterans and first responders. So yeah, Utah Housing Authority has a grant for first responders and law enforcement officers up to $25,000.
And it's awesome. As long as they stay on the job for 5 years, they don't have to pay it back. There are, some stipulations and things like that, but people are welcome to call you or me to find out more about it.
We got some amazing details, especially the longer you stay in the service department. It just gets better.
Yeah, but that's a fantastic way that Utah pays it forward to our law enforcement and correctional officers for serving in that stressful capacity. So there's 89 law enforcement and correctional officer grants remaining for first-time home buyers in Utah. And what is a first-time home buyer?
So yeah, a first-time home buyer is someone who is first purchasing their home or hasn't owned a home within 3 years.
In the last 3 years, yeah. So even if you maybe owned a home 5 years ago, but you haven't owned a home for 3 years, you qualify as a first-time home buyer. If you're a law enforcement officer and you're going to have that job for at least 5 years, that's something that you really want to look into, is that law enforcement officer grant. And it's also for correctional officers as well.
Yeah, I would hope that correctional officers and law enforcement would like to stay in their position longer than 5 years.
Yeah.
It is rewarding in itself, but yes, those are the numbers for it. Yeah, those are the terms for those. And it's just amazing. So please call. We'd love to talk to you, answer some more questions, and even give you some more insight on that.
All right, Travis. So in addition to Utah's amazing first-time homebuyer grant for law enforcement and correctional officers, they also have a grant for veterans. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, $2,500 for our veterans to use for closing costs, down payment, anything that has to do related to the home purchase. It's amazing.
It is amazing. It doesn't have to be paid back. It is for currently serving service members or veterans who have separated within the last 5 years by the time of closing. So you need to make sure that you close on your home before that 5th anniversary. But yeah, and unfortunately, there's a allotted amount and the fund they'll get used up. We have 224 left now as of
veteran families left.
Yeah, September 10th, 2024. So 224 veteran grants left, but when those are all used up, then we need to wait until the funding returns and we have more grants available. So if you want to find out about applying for that, reserving your grant, if you're planning on purchasing a home, reach out to Travis Lamb at Mucha Homes or to me, Christy Gibb, and I'm happy to help you out with that.
Yes, I know that there are 224 veteran families out there. Contact me. I got your 6.
So a lot of veterans hear about how they can use their VA loan to kind of house hack to build some wealth with our VA loan. So what's an idea? What's a way that they can do that?
So if you haven't used all of your allotted fund, you can get yourself an income rental property, whether it be a duplex or a fourplex, and use some of that rental funds to help offset with the costs.
Yeah. So it has to be a primary residence. Anytime that you use the VA loan, you can't use it to buy an investment property, but you can house hack, like you just said, purchase a 2 to 4 unit property, and you live in one of the units, so it's your primary residence.
Right.
And then, like you said, you can use the rent from the other units to offset your payment to help you qualify for that. So that's a fantastic way to get into, maybe you buy your first property with a VA loan, and then after a year or so, you can move out, rent that out, and buy your next home. Depending on, you can still use the VA loan for your next home if you have enough entitlement remaining. Right. So you might need to plan ahead and maybe buy your next home with a conventional loan or whatever makes sense. But if you have any VA entitlement remaining and it makes sense, definitely use the VA loan every time.
It is also a great way to build up your generational wealth. It's easy way to get it.
Yeah, it's amazing. The VA has so many benefits for people that serve in our military. It's awesome.
So please contact Christy or I. So many details from law enforcement and veterans that are just not disclosed and kept secret. So please contact us. We'll tell you.